Within the ancient stones of the Tower of London lies a forgotten tale of royal blood and cruel imprisonment that few tourists ever hear. The year is 1615, and as the spring rains wash over London's cobbled streets, a noblewoman named Lady Arbella Stuart takes her final breath in the tower's cold confines. But her death was merely the end of a story that began years earlier, a tale of forbidden love, desperate escape attempts, and the dangerous game of Tudor-Stuart succession. Lady Arbella Stuart, a name that now echoes only faintly in the corridors of history, was once considered a legitimate claimant to Queen Elizabeth's throne. Her royal lineage was impeccable. Granddaughter of Bess of Hardwick and great-great-granddaughter of Henry VII himself. This bloodline made her both valuable and dangerous in the eyes of the crown. When James I ascended to the throne in 1603, Arbella initially found favor at court. But the king kept watchful eyes upon her, knowing well that royal blood could inspire rebellion. Arbella might have lived out her days in comfortable obscurity had she followed the rules. The fatal error came in her 35th year, when she secretly married William Seymour, a match that sent shivers through the royal court. Their union combined two separate claims to the throne, creating what James I saw as a potential threat to his reign. The king's response was swift and merciless. Both were imprisoned, though in separate locations. William in the Tower of London, Arbella under house arrest in Lambeth. But what followed was something straight from a playwright's imagination, a daring escape plan worthy of the London stage. On a June night in 1611, Arbella disguised herself as a man. With breeches, boots, a doublet, cloak, and a man's peruke atop her head, she slipped past her guards. At the same hour, William escaped the tower using a rope. They were to rendezvous at Lille, then flee together to France. Freedom was within their grasp. But fate had other designs. William's boat reached Flanders safely. Arbella's did not. Contrary winds and an overzealous captain delayed her vessel long enough for the king's ships to intercept it in the Strait of Dover. Just miles from French shores and freedom, Arbella was captured. Her punishment was returned to the Tower, not to the relatively comfortable bell tower where noble prisoners were typically held, but to the cold and isolated brick tower, where she would remain for 4 years. Here is where the mystery deepens. Records tell us that Arbella refused to eat. Whether from depression or as a deliberate hunger strike, she grew steadily weaker. The king denied all petitions for her release or even for medical care. On September 25, 1615, Lady Arbella Stuart died in her Tower prison. The official cause: natural causes. But whispers spread through London. Had she starved herself to death? Was she poisoned to remove a potential rival? Or did she succumb to a wasting illness, deliberately left untreated? The authorities moved quickly. Her body was transported under cover of darkness to Westminster Abbey and buried without ceremony in the vault of her royal ancestor, Mary, Queen of Scots. No marker was placed. No service held. It was as if the crown wished to erase her very existence. Most curious of all was the inventory of her possessions found in the brick tower. Among them, hidden in the hem of a gown, were several encrypted letters. Their contents have never been fully decoded. Some historians believe they contain evidence of a wider plot to place Arbella on the throne. Others suggest they were harmless love letters to her exiled husband. The truth lies buried with her in that unmarked grave in Westminster Abbey. To this day, visitors walk unknowingly over her final resting place, unaware of the woman who might have been queen, whose life and death were sacrificed to the ruthless politics of royal succession. And one has to wonder, what secrets did those encrypted letters hold? What truth died with Lady Arbella Stuart on that autumn day in 1615? Perhaps some secrets of the tower are destined to remain forever locked in the past.